this can easily be seen as a brutal market. Yes, we've had the second worst start to the year in history, and that is decades and decades since we actually saw the worst start to the year in history. So we're in quite unprecedented or precedented by very few examples times. But we're in an interesting part of that worst start to the year, or second worst start to the year in history. It looks like we might be closer to the end than the beginning, and we've possibly already bottomed. So, with that, we have to focus more on fundamentals. You know, when prices are going down and they're quite extreme, things can be very difficult to deal with. It's a bloodbath, everything looks hyper negative, you're losing money, people are panicking, and it's understandable because you don't want to be the last one to sell. You want to be the first one to sell. You want to get out and you want to get back in at lower prices. But right now, we've got prices pretty low. We have near .com and 08-09 recession levels of stocks, almost the peaks of those periods of time. Stocks down 75 and 90%. We have many other statistics that we can look at. I don't have every single one on top of my hand, but to put things in perspective, Amazon was down some 80, 90% at one point. It's still a great company. You got a tremendous return if you bought it closer to the bottom. So you don't need to get the exact bottom. That's okay. You can be a little early or a little bit late. But this would be a time I would say you should have some exposure. And importantly, the title of this video, I'm not talking about being patient, buying now and being patient for later. Yes, obviously that's a principle we have to live by, but also not panicking and not letting price movements dictate your sentiment. For example, the market was down 1% today. That was quite concerning because we came off the highs of yesterday, about 1% off those highs, end of the day flat. To see this morning in the red, I'm sure unsettled some. However, a lot of people are going to think that way. And it seems like the selling is exhausted because we saw what Target had to say. They're, basically dumping their inventory because they need cash. They have too much stuff. I don't think they need cash, but they have too much stuff and they're dumping it. So that shook people up. Oh, things are getting negative here. But they all got out pre-market. Like I said before, they didn't want to be the last ones to sell. They want to be the first ones to sell. Well, it's starting to look like the sellers are getting close to the last sellers because everyone wanted to avoid being the last seller. And the people who were going to sell sold. Cash levels amongst hedge funds recently, I don't know if it's today, is still the case, but we're at their highest level since 9/11. So there's money out there and it's going to have to get deployed. That's just the nature of this business. That's the nature of trying to make money. You got to use it. You got to deploy it. Cash is trash, they say. Ray Dalio said stocks are trash here. We'll see if he's right. I don't think he's going to be right. We'll see if he's right. So I'll just take a deep breath. If you're feeling pain, just take a deep breath. Try to disassociate from the market. Try to disassociate from the immediate price action you're seeing. Everyone's very tense right now. The tenseness, even after a little bit of a run, still a ton of tension. And you should just acknowledge that. You should acknowledge that that is the case. The market as a whole is tense. So it's going to dump, it's going to react, it's going to be in a tense situation. It's going to act as if it was stressed and tense. And the way you can beat it is by taking another deep breath, really filling those those lungs with oxygen, calming yourself down and alleviating that pressure. And then once you do that, looking at it and just like not even moving. And then, okay, so that's the chart. Now let me disassociate from the chart. Let's look at the revenue. Let's look at the earnings. Let's look at the product. Let's look at the price. When you look at those things, you're making a better decision than when you're looking at this, right? This tense market moving. You're making a better decision when you're focusing on the other stuff. That's what we got to do now because prices are pretty good. Markets had the second worst start to the year in history. Yes, we are off those levels, but not tremendously. And I'm all in. I'm all in. So that's my take. Happy to answer any questions that come in. So hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, peace out.